All right, so you're thinking of buying a house in the Austin area and you're trying to compare between South Austin and Buda. There's definitely pros and cons of each. We're going to help you figure out those important things today so you can make the best decision for your family. We're seeing a lot of huge demographic changes as a result of the COVID pandemic. One of them is people are able to work from home, and so we're seeing a lot of people that decide they want to move out of cities and into suburban areas. This is happening in South Austin and Buda. So people are realizing when you move out of South Austin and into cities like Buda, you can get a lot more for your money. For example, right now the median price per square foot in South Austin is about $150 per square foot. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. The median price per square foot in South Austin is around $230 per square foot. The median price per square foot in Buda is around $150. $230 versus $150. So you get a lot more for your money if you're willing to move out toward Buda. If you can work from home, maybe it's encouraging. Maybe it's worth it to get out there and have more space for your family, a little bit more yard space, and pay the same amount that you would for a smaller house in South Austin. All right, so let's talk for just a second about the character of these two areas. Now, because we're seeing a lot of longtime South Austin residents move into Buda recently, the character of these two areas is starting to blur. But let's talk about the roots in the area because they still are impacting the kind of culture that you see in South Austin versus Buda. So longtime South Austin residents, historically speaking, have been more artsy. They have been artists, musicians, creative types. South Austin is what gives Austin its slogan, "Keep Austin Weird." So residents here pride themselves on like funky yard decorations, and a lot of Halloween stuff has been out recently. You might see a giant spider in someone's yard or a metal Tyrannosaurus Rex, or just really fun, quirky things like that that kind of give Austin its character. Buda's history has been historically a little more conservative. It's got more of a country feel to it. Longtime Buda residents have been a lot more Texas-y than artsy. So again, this is starting to blur and you're seeing some of the creatives living in Buda and bringing some of that creativity to Buda, which people have very mixed feelings about. All right, so for example, downtown Buda is this really charming historic district. A lot of the old businesses that were once there are not there anymore. And what's moving in and revitalizing that area are some more quirky, creative places. So you've got some great little cafes, you've got some boutique type shopping, a really great bar and restaurant called Nate's. So different things like that are giving it a charming feel. But also a few blocks away, you've got a big shopping area that's very suburban with a lot of chain restaurants, your Walmart, your H-E-B, which is our grocery store. So you have that definite suburban feel, but there are pockets that you're starting to see some of the South Austin feel move into Buda. All right, so houses in South Austin generally are built 60s, 70s, 80s, some in the 90s, but overall you're gonna have older homes in South Austin because it's just been around for longer. And so that ties itself to bigger, older trees, to less cookie cutter feel, and just a very different feel than what you're finding in Buda. Buda has been there for a long time, but it was a blip on the map until about 20 years ago when it just started exploding. And so what's happened there is developers have come in and put in big master plan communities with newer houses that generally require less maintenance. They have a little more of a cookie cutter suburban feel, actually a lot more of a cookie cutter suburban feel than South Austin, but they also come with fantastic amenities like neighborhood pools and lazy rivers and parks and trails and things like that. All right, so keep in mind if you want to buy in South Austin and you like that kind of eclectic, quirky feel, you're probably looking at an older home that's probably going to require more maintenance, work, and money. So that's a piece there that you have to consider that you may be less likely to have to consider in Buda, where the home is probably less than 20 years old and may not require as much money and as much time. So the biggest thing I can tell you is drive through it, because you're going to feel the difference and you're going to feel where you feel connected and where you feel like you might fit in the neighborhood. They're very different. All right, last point I want to make is about outdoor living. So loud. He's so loud. Last point I want to talk about is outdoor living, because we have about 300 sunny days a year in Central Texas. So a lot of people that are moving into the area want to take advantage of that and are interested in what they can do outside year round. So there are differences in what is available in these two areas. South Austin, you're going to find a lot of adventure on trails. So we have tons of green belts. There are places for mountain biking on trails, for like real intense nature hikes and rock climbing, swimming in the green belt, waterways, things like that. That's your outdoor stuff. Oh, also a whole lot of cycling. So we have really good bike lanes within Austin if you are into road cycling versus mountain biking. Buda, you're gonna have more outdoor living in the form of amenities. So you can still find really great trails and places to walk, but it's gonna be more along the lines of like a neighborhood trail around the community than an actual like intense nature hike. So you'll find parks, you'll find soccer fields, basketball goals in the community, pools, of course, like I've said before, and then those trails. A little more refined, I think, and Austin is a little more like outdoor nature lover kind of outside living. So those are the biggest points I have to share with you today. I think they're the biggest differences in the two areas, but if you have thoughts on what we should add, please add a comment or message us. If you have questions and want to talk more in detail about schools, I didn't even hit on that, or specific neighborhoods, search our YouTube page. We've got tons of videos out there, or send us a direct message and we're happy to talk about your specific situation and what things you're weighing in your mind. So please like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.